Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, sisters and brothers. Thank you so much. Thank you. For 90 years, this union has been there for those who respond to the cries for help across this great continent and beyond, where IAFF members live and work. For 90 years, those who have held an IAFF card have served their communities as their country's citizen soldiers with commitment and pride. And for 90 years, this IAFF has charted their course, shown them the way, and has never let them down. Over these 90 years, this union has fought their battles. We've stood our ground on their behalf, on guard for them 24/7. So as we meet this week, simply put, the state of your union is strong, vibrant, and thriving. And now our job is to set the course for our members' future and prepare for the challenges and opportunities we'll face. But as we plan for success and how to prevail, we need to always be conscious of the work of so many who preceded us, those that fought the many battles for our members' rights, that worked to build the union over the years, build its heritage, and to improve our members' lot in life. And that's where we find ourselves today. That's our task this week, to continue building on our legacy, continue leading the way, continue fighting for what's right for our members, the citizen soldiers of the IAFF. So let me also welcome you, all of you, affiliate leaders, family, friends, and guests, as we come together at our union's 49th convention. We've spent this morning respecting tradition, celebrating the lives, recognizing the duty and service of those who sacrifice on our behalf and as well for our members and the profession of this great union. Traditions that run deep in the very fabric of who we are. We began this historic week with the honor guards carrying the colors of our nations, the pipers playing their mournful notes and stepping to the rhythmic beat of the drums as we honored our fallen. We've respected the great patriotism among our ranks for the two great nations our members call home. We've displayed our abiding and unfailing support for those serving in our military, many of whom are our members, who traded one great uniform for another, proudly serving their country on two fighting fronts. And we've noted with dignity the 90 years this incredible union of ours has served its members, those we are all sworn to protect. But while we respect and celebrate our history and our traditions, our job this week is to look forward and to embrace the future. In these 8 years since you have blessed me with the honor of being your General President, we've made incredible advances, you and me, my partner, dear friend, Vinnie Boland, our great executive board, and a tremendous staff. We've achieved so much that answers the questions that I know too often are heard around your kitchen tables in the stations, that you may hear from time to time at your local union meetings. And I've heard at the kitchen tables during the 260 station visits that I've made in these last 8 years. You know the questions as well as I do. And I know you get as frustrated as I do when you hear, what's the IAFF doing for us? What does the union do for me here? What do I get from my dues that we send back to Washington, D.C. and Ottawa? I don't fault that some ask that question, because honestly it's based on the problem that we have in our union. Many of you have heard me talk about that problem. What is it? Well, it's a problem about me and about Vinnie and our board. It's a problem about all of you that hold office in our union. It really goes to the core of exactly who we are, the characteristic about us that finds our way to the job, the personal traits that we have. It's that's inside of us that, in this great profession, when you go out and do a great job, make a great rescue, knock down a great fire, and people around you want to make a big deal out of it, and politicians applaud you. The news calls you heroes. They celebrate your activities, and what do you typically do? You just say, I'm doing my job. That's the problem. Because that characteristic, that understatedness about you, as aggressive as you are, all alpha dogs, you're not braggadocious. You don't like to call attention to your own good work. And unfortunately, we bring that very characteristic and trait into our union work. We're just doing our job. We don't really take the time. We're not comfortable making the effort to make sure that our members know what you do, what this union has done. And our members need to know. Every one of you in this convention hall who have accepted the responsibility to represent your fellow sisters and brothers to better their lives, you know the answer to that question. It's an answer that is composed of hundreds of pieces and is played out over the 90 years of our union's history. But today, let's just talk about the current decade. May 2001, this union put up $1 million. Many thought we were crazy to do it. And then 2,500 IAFF members strong, proudly on a hot summer day in Anaheim, California, we took over the NFPA annual standards meeting, a historic event for this union, for this profession, for our members, and we forced the passage of NFPA 1710. Now we have a standard that makes it clear that every rig and every station and every community throughout our countries should never ride with less than 4 or 5, and we're not going to stop until it actually becomes the law of the land for all of our members. And then only 4 short months later, as we watched again this morning, we will never forget the despicable acts. On September 11, 2001, 343 of our FDNY brothers, in addition to the thousands of innocent civilians, were killed on that horrific day. Our union could have frozen and been stunned in grief, anger, and chaos. Instead, we all pulled together, 2 courageous locals in this international, and we began to work to respond to our members and the families of those among our ranks who we lost. We raised that $162 million, and we distributed it to our families, a feat of charity that, looking back, doesn't seem possible. But because of our work, the generosity of thousands, and the organization we built in this union, we were able to help every single family that lost a loved one in that devastating attack. This union set up the counseling operations for our families and our members, a program we continue to support today. We cut through all the red tape for PSOB benefits, changing the laws and the regulations so our families didn't have to wait and they could receive the assistance that they were entitled to. That was the work of all of us. That's what we did, this union, and our members need to know. It was just IAFF that developed and passed that Safer Grant program. And today, because of our work, all of our work together, in this year's budget alone, we're going to provide $190 million. That will hire some 7,000 firefighters in departments that are running too few on their rigs, and our members need to know. In Canada, as our political program has taken off and risen in power and prominence, our ability to pass legislation has seen tremendous success. Just this year, the Canadian government authorizing $2.5 million for an IAFF-designed CBRN training program for our Canadian members. Another first for this union in the face of a conservative government that hasn't been too easy to work with for the Canadian labor movement. We've also won new and improved presumption laws in provinces all across the entire country of Canada just in the last several years. Canadian pension reform and criminal code amendments to help secure our members' retirement. and increase their safety. And our members need to know. Across the United States, we've enacted new presumption laws, strengthened some by adding cancer and infectious diseases, so that our members are afforded the benefits and the protections they deserve. And our members need to know. It was this IAFF that passed the Hometown Heroes Act that expanded PSOB, providing $304,000 benefit to the family of those who lost their loved ones to heart attacks and strokes on the job. And when the Justice Department balked because a few government stooges didn't like the language in the bill, held up paying the benefits for 3 years, not a single family receiving a single benefit, it was this union that took on the bureaucrats who denied those benefits to our grieving families. And today, we've won that battle, and our families are now being paid the benefits they've been denied. And our members need to know. As this healthcare crisis in the U.S. continues to grow, I don't have to tell you how many of our members leave the job without any health care or limited care or care they can't afford. So this union went to work and changed the U.S. tax code to help alleviate some of the burden by passing the HELPS bill, giving our retired members the opportunity to write off health care costs worth $3 billion over the next 10 years for our members. That puts $1,000 to $1,800 in the pockets of every single retired member for the rest of their lives. Our members need to know. When Hurricanes Katrina, Rita, and Wilma devastated the Gulf Coast, our members stayed on the front line, many of them while losing their own homes. Then they had to experience their government at every level, failing them miserably and not responding to their needs. But it was this union that took action and responded to their needs. This IAFF who brought them relief, who cared for them and provided assistance to their families. And our members need to know. And it's just over 1 year ago, following the largest loss of life in a single incident in our profession that we've experienced since 9/11. Charleston, South Carolina, in a department that was commanded by those who were out of touch and out of date, where an incident command system didn't even exist, where policies were antiquated, and our members weren't allowed to be trained or staffed properly, and 9 good men were killed. This union was on the ground within 48 hours, providing assistance to our locals, raising money for our families, and challenging that command system at every turn. Today, IAFF Local 61 is stronger than ever. Our relationship with the mayor and city council is stronger than ever. Because of the hard work of this union, because we challenged the status quo, Chief Rusty Thomas, who said that he wouldn't have changed a thing, he's now gone, and the IAFF is on the search committee for a new chief. And our members need to know. Our members need to know. There's so many. They need to know. There's so many more examples. But the point I'm trying to make is that our members, they really need to know that it's their union. It's you. It's this international. It's all of those who preceded us. Together, we are responsible for their incredible profession, their financial success, their retirement benefits, and their safety, and their families' futures. It wasn't management. It wasn't some benevolent politician. It wasn't some compassionate legislature or charitable city government. Our members need to know where their bargaining laws in 31 states that have bargaining rights came from. Do they think the Tooth Fairy gave it to them? Did elected officials just wake up one morning and say, oh, hey, what can we do for the firefighters today? Hell no. Those laws came from the blood, sweat, and tears from IAFF union leaders like you, who battled like hell to usher those laws into law and over the years to protect them from attack. And our members need to know. Where did our members' retirement programs come from? How about their 457 deferred compensation plans? What about their drops, their work schedules, their FLSA overtime. How did all that come about? From a generous political community? No. Everything our members receive, every benefit, every right, every gain has come from the work of this great union over the last 90 years. And as uncomfortable as it may be for you, against the very character of who you are, who we are, we have to overcome that problem. And it's up to you, it's up to us together to make sure that we answer our members' questions, to pass on the history and the heritage of how we took a continuous duty, low paid, no benefits, zero retirement job, and turned it into what it's become today. It's up to all of us to tell our members what they need to know. And why do they need to know this? They need to know because for us to continue to be successful, we have to have the full support and commitment of our members. We need them to understand what's at stake and what it's going to take to win. If our members and new generations of firefighters simply feel entitled to what they have, if they don't have a healthy framework for what it took to get them to where they are, if they don't appreciate the threats to their future, and that will be this union that stands between them and those who want to roll the clock back on our profession, that will protect and advance their future. If we don't do this, then our job, your job, the sworn duty that we've jointly accepted to take care of our membership, to grow our profession, to enhance the lives of each member, is going to be made more and more difficult. So when you get that question next time, answer it boldly. Answer it proudly. Tell them what we've accomplished together. And then tell the members how this union has built a structure to advance our goals, to move our members' agenda forward. And while you do your job, this international's responsibility is to continue to build and provide assistance directly to those that have the toughest job in this union. Yeah, a lot of you have heard me say that, but it's true. Toughest job isn't my job. It's not Vinny's job. It's not the job of our executive board. It's you, our local union officers, who have the toughest damn job in this union. You're the ones in the trenches day in and day out, taking the crap from our members and getting hammered by command and elected officials at the same time. You've got the toughest job. And for us to succeed, this IAFF has to continue to build the best technical and safety programs to support your efforts on the ground. When Stamford, Connecticut, Local 786, first saw the GIS mapping operation we built 8 years ago, they requested a system evaluation. It gave them the data to prove that they were riding short. And today, they have 2 new stations, 2 new engine companies, and 40 new IAFF members. We've repeated that. We've repeated that success and other successes in hundreds of cities across 2 countries by deploying tremendous tools of technology, along with our municipal financial analysis, EMS integration programs, and wage and benefit databases. Together, we've been able to put together technology that's better and more informative and put it in your hands. It's better information than most cities and counties can muster. And to help our affiliates with specific problems, we created a district field service rep program to put trained, experienced IAFF reps on the ground wherever they're needed. And in the 7 years since initiating that program, we've successfully logged over 6,700 days of assistance. Our hazmat and WMD programs are the single largest provider of operation-specific training to fire departments across the country, with over $40 million in grants coming in since 2001, giving us the resources to train tens of thousands of our members. So when there's a call for a biological or a radiological incident, the members of FDNY, Chicago, Metro-Dade, Phoenix, Houston, Montgomery County, Maryland, and so many, many more will arrive on the scene armed with the knowledge provided by their union. When the hazmat and WMD teams roll in Gallatin, Tennessee, and Concord, California, Des Moines, Iowa, Auburn, New York, and scores of others, It's this IAFF training them. Our Redmond Symposium, Affiliate Leadership Training Summit, and biennial human relations conferences are attended in record numbers year after year, simply to better inform and educate you. Our PEP and education subsidies have been used by over 40 states and provinces over the past 2 years to help you be better prepared. Our web presence has gone from a cobweb to an interactive site, now visited by 52,000 unique visitors a month, viewing 5.7 million pages each year, with more and more logging on every single day. Over 95% of our leadership has registered their email addresses through IAFF.org, enabling us to communicate with them, with you, via email, reducing cost and speeding delivery, all to simply better to serve the toughest job in this international. And our legal department works daily with locals on internal governance and OSHA issues. They work to ensure that members' FLSA rights are protected, like we've done in Plantation, Florida, Aberdeen, South Dakota, Alkippa, Pennsylvania, the city of Los Angeles, Parma, Ohio, the Hawaiian Islands, and so many, many more. And it's our guardian protection policy where we continue to win cases with great results. 10 days ago, we won a verdict in favor of local President Paul Blangstad against Snowmass Fire District in Colorado, which had terminated him simply for doing his union leadership duties. We took him to court. A federal jury awarded him $582,000 in back pay and damages, and we're now getting Paul's job back. Justice served. And justice was also served in Kapokasing, Ontario, Local 1237, where the city illegally passed a bylaw disbanding the entire full-time fire department, canceled their collective agreement because they didn't want to increase their staffing. Through our Guardian program, we sought an injunction. We got it. Our members stayed on the job, and we fought all the way to the Supreme Court of Canada. And when the ruling came down, we prevailed, and the city lost. In case after case, whether it's Minneapolis, Franklin, Tennessee, Navarre Beach, Florida, Clarington, Ontario, Bristol, New Hampshire, across 2 great countries, our Guardian program has ensured that justice is being served for our union's leadership, you that have the toughest job in this union. And 75 cases later, we've lost only 1. And now management knows across this continent and beyond that if you mess with one of ours, we'll bring the full force and power of this international to bear. We'll come ready to fight, ready to battle, and ready to win. This union, your union, has developed innovative programs like the IAFF Motorcycle Group and the Union Sportsman Alliance. Why? To help draw in our members who might not otherwise feel as connected to our union as we would like. For our retirees and those who have left their local in good standing, we have relaunched the IAFF Alumni, a program with incredible success. Several thousand new alumni members have signed up just in the last 4 months. We continue to elevate the bar on our charitable partnership, as we've seen this morning, with muscular dystrophy, raising over $25 million last year. I know we're going to beat it this year, over $300 million over the career of our work. And we built our own for-profit company without a single penny of per capita, the IAFF Financial Corporation, whose sole share owner is you, this union. We went into business just 5 years ago this month, growing from an idea and 0 assets and $1 million line of credit to a thriving enterprise that now has over $1.6 billion in frontline deferred compensation program and some 85,000 members utilizing that program. It's your financial corporation that's put together packages of financial products solely to lower the cost of insurance for our members in the U.S. and Canada. We're helping them lower the cost for mortgages, some $300 million on the street, not a single foreclosure, because this union wasn't a predatory lender. We're providing banking services that enable you to save money, to have our affiliates earn money, the highest interest rates in the industry, with minimal or no fees. And your bank now has over $20 million in deposits in just over a year. And today, as we meet, your financial corporation has paid off its entire debt. It's operating in a profit mode. And beginning next month, we begin to pump serious resources into your union from your corporation. I think nothing less than an incredible success story. Brothers and sisters, our list of accomplishments, how we have grown this union to be able to provide service to you, our affiliate leaders and our members, goes on and on. We need to be proud of what we've accomplished. And yes, we need to let our members know. We've done all of this at a time when labor in general is taking it on the chin. Unions across the board are having great difficulty organizing, representing their sectors, when most unions are losing membership, when some suggest that labor has lost its voice, lost its influence. And while union density in almost every market and every union is trending seriously down, this IAFF, this union continues to grow. In every quarter and every year, adding 53,000 new members since the year 2000, over 400 new locals. We now represent one of the highest percentages of our core industry of any union in our two countries. 85% of full-time career firefighters in the U.S., 90% of them in Canada hold an IAFF card. And as far as our political influence, the numbers simply speak for themselves. Our Fire Pack program has grown every year. In this election cycle, we've already reached our $3.75 million goal, with 6 months still to go this year. That makes us one of the 20 largest out of the over 4,000 federal PACs that exist. And Fire Pack Canada has seen similar explosion in growth and power. And with everything we do, so important to the future of our members, this is the one area. This is the area that I believe drives almost every aspect of our members and their families' lives. Because every decision that affects them is ultimately made by an elected official or someone appointed by an elected official. And our political operation and the ability to influence elections and win political friends is one of the most important programs that we've been expanding during my tenure as your General President. We've created the proud gold and black IAFF Firefighters 4, which is recognized by the political community at every level of government as the political operation you can count on and that every candidate wants their name on. It represents the union that will stand in your corner no matter what the challenge. The union that makes a commitment, not based on polls, not based on pundits, and the union that is loyal and relentless and will never back down. And that if we give you our hand, it's a contract, which is as good as gold. And there are literally hundreds of examples of how this program has brought success, how the process makes such a difference for our members. And I've mentioned many of them already. But one of the best examples for this union, I believe, occurred this year. H.R. 980. Our National Collective Bargaining Bill was introduced with 280 co-sponsors, including 70 Republicans. It passed the House Labor Committee with one dissenting vote, 42-1. Then making history, this proposal that would expand federal bargaining to workers for the first time in 40 years passed the House of Representatives by an unbelievable margin of 314 to 97, a majority of Democrats and Republicans supporting our measure. And then a great majority leader, Leader Harry Reid, true to his word to us, brought our bill to the Senate floor. And our great friend, the lion of that chamber, Senator Ted Kennedy, led the fight on the floor just before he was diagnosed with a brain tumor, with Senator Judd Gregg as the chief Republican co-sponsor. And when the vote was taken, we championed in another historical moment for labor when the United States Senate passed for the first time in 30 years a pure labor cloture vote on a bipartisan vote of 69 to 29. And when Senator Kennedy returns to the Senate after Labor Day, God willing, or if necessary, early next year when a friendlier Congress and a friendlier president who will support us, I'll see our bill, you'll see our bill back on those floors. We'll pass that landmark legislation, and tens of thousands of our members will finally have the basic rights other employees in North America have enjoyed for 75 years. The right to be represented by their union and work under a collectively bargained agreement. And we are going to pass that damn bill. But as much as we've done, as much as we have done together, I also believe there's much, much more we can do. There's much more we have to do. There's much more we need to do. We can continue to improve the lives and livelihoods, the safety and health of the women and men of this IAFF. And that's what we must focus on this week and beyond. We need to keep building. We must challenge ourselves. We need to take on the toughest of the issues facing our members. We need to face the hard truths, ask the tough questions about why are we continuing to see so many of our members that we're losing to line-of-duty deaths and disabling injuries year after year. Even though we have better turnout gear, thermal imaging cameras, we have integrated pass devices, so many advances while fire call volume, quite frankly, it's going down. But we continue to lose our members on a steady course, and it's unacceptable. We're faced with an economy that is tanking. Many of our jurisdictions already feeling the downward pressure on their local budgets from housing crisis, mortgage defaults, foreclosures that are running rampant everywhere. And while the economists may want to debate whether we're technically in a recession, it doesn't take an economist to tell us that the revenues in our communities are shrinking and resources to our departments are drying up. Cities and counties are getting more desperate. They're attacking our members' jobs, their pay, their benefits. They're cutting corners and screwing our members by using pitiful scams like public safety officers. Well, they'll see if they can get away with having a cop throw a set of turnouts in the trunk of his cruiser and pretend to be a firefighter. And we have to say hell no to that. They're attacking our retirement plans. They're making our members out to be nothing short of robber barons, allegedly stealing taxpayer money by reaping undeserved benefits. They're saying our retirement plans are out of sync with the rest of the workforce. They're trying to eliminate the programs we've built over these years, the drop programs, and now they're trying to take our union representatives off our retirement boards, and we have to say hell no. They're passing off more and more of the health care costs onto the backs of our members. They're going to try to close more stations, brown out companies, reduce staffing. They're going to be slipping in paid-on calls, using volunteers and part-times. They think they can get away with it, and we're not going to let them get away with it because we're going to say hell no. But just saying hell no is not enough. This union has to help you be ready for these battles. That's what this is all about. That's why we exist. This isn't a club. We're not some social organization or fraternity. This is a trade union with a 90-year history of taking on those who choose to take us on. This union is prepared to meet those challenges head on, aggressively, to assist you in every way possible. Our technical assistance, financial analysis, safety and health, PR, legal, political, and GIS operations, We're ramping them up for the onslaught that we know is growing by the day. We need to get ready and fight together if we're going to be successful. Our members pay the freight every single month. And we have taken an oath to make sure they get a fair wage for their work, to make sure they have a secure retirement, and to make sure that they get home safely at the end of their shift. It's up to us to ensure they have a fair, generous, and secure retirement for the years after they finish their service, and that their families are provided for in the event, God forbid, that they are called upon to make the ultimate sacrifice. We need to give every ounce of energy we have to wake up every morning ready to fight for them. We have to commit to build an even bigger and greater union, never accepting the status quo, no matter how well we're doing, because it's not who we are, it's not who you are, it's not who our members are. And it starts with me. And I promise to keep innovating, to make this IAFF stronger and more powerful, and to make sure that our resources and services make your job, the toughest job in this union, as successful as possible. That's my commitment to you. For 90 years, this great union has always been ready, always been there for our members, those citizen soldiers who respond to the cries of help. For 90 years, this union has not let them down, holding the light, standing our ground for them 24/7. For 90 years, it's been up to us to have the strength to carry their burdens and to chart the course to ensure we'll always be ready. That's our task. That's our duty. It's our calling. And rising up together once again, we will never let them down. May God bless you and every firefighter and soldier on the front line everywhere.